said bracket, more like brisket. You fucking
And then I said, "Are we live?" And then you said no. So then
No.
I said,
gay
"Bracket should say-"
slur.
Yeah. Oh, we need
Bracket.
drops.
Oh, that's right. Bracket, more like hi.
More like crack it. Am I right, guys? Any hizzle. What's
Yeah,
going
dude.
on?
Oh man, dude, we're starting out big. I had to fucking, not to brag, I had to alpha male the shit out of my wife, dude.
What, like abuse or?
Yeah, I had to just go like, hey, this is for no reason.
Yeah. Hey, just keeping you honest.
Hey, I had a bad dream.
Dom's done that to me a couple times. Not hit me, but like
She
was like sad because she had a dream that I like said something mean or cheated on her or had sex with somebody else, and I was just like welcome to my dreams. I mean, those are my dreams as well.
Yeah, I'm also cheating on you in my dreams.
Right. Yeah, like I mean, I don't understand it. Hold on, let me see if this works.
And I'm way happier than you are.
Yeah, it's being oblivious. It's a lot better.
I've had I do feel sympathy for the ladies take it too far because we've trained them that they can be ridiculous, and you know what I'm saying. Like society has told the ladies like you can be ridiculous. It's part of your thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna be sexist from the jump. What's up, boys?
What's going on, everybody? Hello.
Hurdler. We got Dumbeezy, always number one.
Bing bong.
Dunbar back from Skankfest.
What's up?
St. Ivan. Most dope. What's up, boys and girls?
Hello, everyone.
There's no girls here. What are we talking about?
Good morning, everyone of genders.
Good morning, boys.
Good morning, gender havers. That's what I'm going to start calling people. Instead of like respecting a specific one, I'm just going to just vague it up for everyone. I'm going to go, hello, gender haver.
Have you been around people who use the fucking, like, you know what I mean? You know, been around a couple liberals.
They specify a bit? No.
Well, they add. Well, like that's so funny. I'm pulling up the Drag the Lake page to see the stream, and they're like, "Oh, a notification," and it's just the comment that says "bad take." I'm like, "All right, later, buddy. I'll come back to you later." All right, stream looks good on the Drag the Lake page. Fantastic. What was I gonna fucking say? What were we just talking about?
You were gonna be sexist, and then we went off on gender havers.
Oh yeah. Well, there'll be like the little things where they'll be like I always got annoyed by the term cis male. You know what I mean?
Do you know what that means, by the way? That means you just have a penis.
It means normal.
Yeah, just regular. You just have a male who was born a male that is a male still.
Well,
and it's like, okay, that's just a male.
They do that with the language shit to like subtly like recategorize shit, because all those people who are into that stuff, they view all of life as like us versus them and hierarchies and stuff like that. So like all their language, you know how like the Spanish language, everything's a boy or a girl. You're like, that building's a boy, but that car's a girl.
I do the same thing with animals, but with types of animal. But sorry,
you know my age old thing I figured out is all dogs are boys and all cats are girls. So it makes sense.
It does coincide with my theory that all animals are either cat or dog. And like it's pretty simple.
I remember you talking about that.
Like deer or cats, bears or dogs. Bears or dogs. Smart dogs. Smart dogs. Sharks or cats. Sharks or cats. Whales. I feel like whales are the only one that is like the real enigma with me, but
Florida.
Do what?
I said real enigma. I was making a joke.
Oh. What is this, Pluto TV? Check out this episode, this week's episode of No More Heroes, which is totally recorded and brings us to where we are today.
Yeah, Yeah, sorry, I'm looking up the features on the
You're
live
pulling on your
chat.
pud. Hey, can you,
Um,
by the way, are you able to hear this when I click this?
No, what
Nothing
just
played.
happened?
I'm playing
What?
nothing. You can't hear anything. Damn.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm
I can't
hitting.
hear.
I have drops, but I don't know why they're not playing.
Hmm.
Son of a fuck. You know what I mean? That's what I say. When I'm sitting here going, well, what the heck is going on? You know?
Is that going through your board where you're at right now?
I got it on the computer, but but you know, we can both look up stuff at the same time. They won't mind if we're distracted.
Distracted completely.
Yeah, we were recording last night about our episodes with. Yeah, my hair is fucking nuts right now.
It's why I wear beanies all the time. Not like that fucking. Well, and I always clarify, I'm not that piece of shit Tim Pool. I have hair. I'm just self-conscious about it. Tim Pool doesn't have any hair to be self-conscious about.
Maybe the input. Yeah, what the heck, man? What the heck, man? But yeah, I think that when we were recording the episodes about the Aquabats and Jackie Brown, I shared my thoughts that I was thinking about the live show of like of because actually there was 2 instances this week where we went to start to record and then we just ended up starting talking.
Yeah.
And then ended up talking one day where we ended up talking through my availability.
It was quite hilarious. It was actually Saturday. We came on here. We started talking, and we had a few. You know, occasionally, like you guys see us often talk into microphones and do all this stuff, but occasionally we do have that weird thing called friendship, and we were in the middle of what I've heard is called friendship, and it wasn't being recorded, which was odd.
Yeah,
it was odd. I was like, no one else is there.
Yeah, what's the point of friendship?
Yeah, no one else is going to be out there to hear this. I don't exactly know what's happening with this right now, but either way, and then yeah, kind of by the it was really funny. We were having friendship for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, because it was we were in the middle of it. We were like, we both really need this. This is definitely a conversation we need to have right now. And then I was like, yo, I got to take a piss real quick. We can start after that. And I come back, and it was really funny because I go out to Steph and I was like, hey, I was supposed to get groceries, but I didn't plan on talking to Pat for a fucking 2 hours before we actually recorded. I was like, I can't get groceries today. And I come back and Pat's just like, hey, I have to leave. And then I go back to Steph and I was like, I can get groceries now because we fucking wasted all of our time.
Yeah, I think just in general, like it's it ends up being a thing where like we're still having engaging conversations, but it's just not. It's like it's really legitimately, it's not performative. Like we just happen to have nice conversations kind of about anything. We can kind of, so if we have that ability and we already have, you know, you have somewhat of a stream schedule already, why not actually, you know, put some frame up and actually have framework of a real, because we all know that radio sucks nowadays. We all are here because we like talk radio in some case or another. And
yeah. You guys like
podcasts
yappers.
were supposed to be that, right? Podcasts were supposed to be the new, oh, this is the new wave of the thing. And then the fucking industry just took that and just now it's just another thing
Well,
that's
unfortunate. That's unfortunately the way where, like, you think that's the unfortunate way of like developing technologies is you think something's gonna come along and they'll be like, they can't fuck with this, and it's like, no. They'll figure it out. I realized when it happened with YouTube, because YouTube would just be like, it would just be random shit for the sake of random shit. It would be a bunch of guys who were just like, oh, I just really give a shit about the Ottoman Empire. Let me record a 9-hour video talking about that with really bad quality and lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just so passionate about it. And there'd be another guy being like, all right, here's how you pick a lock, kiddos. And then they just, it's the second they figure out how to make like real deal money at it, it just becomes the thing where it's like the people who know how to make money swoop in. And we talked about before, and it's what I realized is the problem with like music and shit like that is like when they swoop in and they get in the midst of the process, and that's like a thing that they've sort of like infested in. And I'm going. Where were we originally with this thought? I was kind of going all over the
Of
place.
saying basically what I was saying was like, we all know that morning radio or talk radio in general these days kind of sucks, and it's kind of taken over. It's taken a new turn, but we want to bring
It's reached new levels of
style.
gay, is what we're trying to say.
Well, we want to bring back the style of what we were taught, what we were grown up with, like what we were raised on, and kind of thing of like, because it's still good and it still totally has value. It just needs to shift into a new medium, and I don't think anybody really. There's certain people obviously that did it to an extent, but like,
let me put it this way: you guys remember when you weren't sure if Anthony Cumia was racist, just an Italian guy?
Yeah, you remember the fun times?
You remember the fun times when you were like, Anthony Cumia is not racist, he's just an Italian. Mm-hmm. That's what we're bringing back to the people.
Right, where we're just gonna mask our racism with comedy and
yes, and we'll have a giant black guy sitting in the corner to be like, how could I be racist?
Yeah, he's my friend and stuff.
He's my friend, I say.
But I think that's also a good point of saying, like, we're gonna have guests, we're gonna stream on a regular-ish schedule, plus, you know what I mean? Like,
because me and Pat have basically been saying, like, it's kind of funny. Me and Pat were like, we were always talking about, like, the one thing me and him both love so much is like talk radio. Like, we always love listening to the Bonfire. You were a big Jim and Sam guy, which I would listen, but you listen to them like regularly. I was always a hardcore O&A guy back in the day. We're big radio guys and stuff like that. And our idea for what we did creatively in comedy was, what if we never did that? What if we did a bunch of other things that weren't that? And then last night, Pat had the idea of like, hey, all those things we do that aren't radio? What if we kind of just mushed them together?
Yeah.
And just remolded it. And it was a beautiful midday morning show.
Yeah. Instead of 2 1+ hours a week of content, we have, 3 days of multiple hours of us just fucking chilling, talking about current events, talking about the shit the old events.
Yeah. We're gonna be coming on your tits multiple days a week, guys.
Oh yeah, but there's gonna be so much if I can get these goddamn drops to work. It doesn't work though.
Wait, it might be something. It might be something with the fact that, like, I think the audio's just coming through your microphone.
Yeah, well, I have it going through the what's it called? The thingy.
The thingy.
The fucking
no. How like the Restream page thing works is the only thing right now going through here is like I could have YouTube. I could just be blaring Guar or something like that right now, but like it won't. The only thing that'll be coming through is my microphone.
No, that's interesting. So yeah, so it's not normally like how it's set up where I have it set up to come through my I want to say mixer, but you know what I'm talking about, the preamp thing, the little fucking Behringer, why can't I think of the fucking word?
I don't know.
The whatever it's called. The thing that makes the sound go in there, and I have it. I choose it for the input and output. So like it's weird that it doesn't play all the shit that I had, because when I pick a window and it says to choose sound, it'll play that, but I specifically has to choose that thing, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you know how like has the screen share thing?
Yeah, so like
that's a big way we can pull up stuff, but maybe we'll be able to figure out how to get your soundboard going. I mean, we could always explore the different elements of this fucking website to really get that cooking.
Yeah. We have nothing but time, baby. But yeah, we had a pretty awesome conversation even before with there we go. Before about Jackie Brown and the and it was about what? That was like half hour in. Before that ended up we realized it was.
Oh, dude, I watched that. Yeah, guys, please watch the new episode No More Heroes, because the beginning of it's so fucking funny. just dude, it's so funny to start a podcast. Like the first words of the podcast are me going, "Fuck, I wasn't recording."
Yeah, that's so funny. So wait, that's when it started. Is when you said, "Fuck, I wasn't recording." That was the first things.
Yeah, I think I can bring it up. It's really fucking funny. Wait, I think I can bring it up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, I was like watching it back. Like this makes me so happy. It's actually in like the context of just like podcasting. It's actually like a funny little way to just. Oh yeah, here we. Wait a minute. Shit.
Oh damn it. Never mind.
Okay, here. This made me laugh. Haven't been recording
the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh fuck.
We just been enjoying our company.
Yeah, we just been hanging out.
Damn it.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Damn it. That's all right, brother.
Fuck. That's a funny place. You went into dad mode too, because you're like, I was like, I fucking hate all this. I want to break my computer. I want to throw everything out the fucking window. I'm so fucking mad right now.
Yeah, it's weird. Like certain things, obviously, like you've heard my struggles with my computer every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things where I'm really cool with, and I'm sure most people are like this. There's kind of every relationship to an extent has to have that one person that is cool under pressure and then the other person that is freak out mode. But like Dom and I just kind of alternate,
Oh
like,
yeah.
and
And
like
I think that's like the best way to be is to kind of like go back and forth is because you can't like the person. Dude, it always goes back to every time me and Steph would go to a family house, our family's houses for parties, and I would always get more drunk and she would have to drive home. And then one time she was like, I would like to be more drunk and you drive home one time. And I go, that's fair. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's like everyone needs to be like, I would like to irrationally spaz occasionally. I can't always be the mature one.
Yeah, it makes sense to not always have the same dynamic, because then I think those are the relationships that don't end up working, because like you can have defined normal roles, but you need to be able to deal with ambiguity. Like you're not always going to fucking deal with every situation the exact way you should.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
like you need that extra perspective, but also like, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be a spouse. It can be like a person that is that you trust, like a really close friend, somebody that's going to somewhat be honest with you, even if it's nice or not. Like I'm sure there's plenty of times where Steph was probably like in her head, like, because again, we can identify with this, probably in her head, like, I don't understand why I can't ever be the one that gets drunk and has to be driven home and all this other stuff. And then she was like, wait, I can just say it to him. Yeah. And then and then you say it to him and then you're like, oh yeah, I could have that's all I had to do. I just talked to him. So
well, I always joke with Steph. I go like, I'm a very reasonable person for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like you can come to talk to me and like I will be utterly you will if you hit me with a solid argument, if you hit me with a fair critique or fair complaint, I will be taken out and I will abide. I will dude, I can't not acknowledge a solid argument. And if you go to me and say, I'd like to be drunk sometimes, I go, that sounds awesome. I would hate to take that from you.
Yeah, and it's not always going to be, I mean, we know this from personal experience, from dealing with other people or anything like that not everybody's always thinking of your, like, especially in those cases where like I'm not always going to think about Dom's perspective necessarily in those things, because it's just like, I don't know, I know her to an extent, but it's also like, unless you share that shit, like I'm not, you got to let the ladies know I'm not a mind reader. Like legitimately, you can't have I have dealt with that so much since moving to Austin, just with human people or anything, any kind of
with human people. Pat, are you an alien?
Yeah, human people.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever human people tell me something, I just go, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's what we humans think.
That is
We're
totally
always like that.
Oh, typical human joke time.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes. I love human break time. I'm going to have some of my lunch that my wife made me. That bitch. Anyway, but like you can't always have like you can't have expectations and not share them in any situation. And I think those are the relationships that really end up failing, is the people that don't have the communication. That you can get you're gonna get upset with people. You're gonna be upset with your partner, and
You're
in
gonna be
some
fucking
cases,
pissed.
yeah, you're gonna be fucking pissed. But sometimes you just need to go like, hey man, you fucking pissed me off. Better fucking stop that shit. The thing that gets me though is, and this is I think why men die first, is because ladies just need a gentle reminder every once in a while that, hey, you're doing that thing that, remember the thing that I really nicely asked you not to do? That's why I blew up on you, because you kept doing that thing that I fucking, and you were like, oh my god, I had no idea I was doing that. And you're like, that's okay. That's okay. Now you know. Just
I
don't
do.
please
I
just
do
don't do that
acknowledge.
again. And you're just like, wait a minute. Remember that conversation we had 2 weeks ago?
I had to acknowledge that with Steph one time recently. Actually, it was so funny because it's like I don't. Well, here's the thing: is like we both. I think me and Steph don't acknowledge our craziness on things because she's like, she'll acknowledge that she's hella OCD, and I'm not even just saying like, oh, she's a little. No, I'm like, I think you have OCD, like.
Mhm.
Like the way she's talked about things, like the way she'll just be like, she'll just be like, she'll look at the house and she'll be like, it is fucking disgusting in here. And you look around, you're like, it's actually pretty chill. It's
Yeah.
like, and I'm like,
I've seen disgusting.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I've been to other people's houses. It's actually you'd be shocked at how fucking nice this place is. So there is part of it where it's like on her, but on her to be like, yo, chill, you have this like crazy, you need to acknowledge more. Cause I've told her too, it's like it's completely fine if that's your standard. You just have to like accept that that's your standard, which is a little bit higher. But then on the flip side, I've caught myself. I have this weird comfort in it being like almost a little messy, like just shit is like cuz I don't like shit being dirty. That's not my thing. I'm not trying to
Mhm.
like make it dirty, but like if things aren't tidy, I'm like nice. This is good. I'm like this is good. there's something there's something about it where I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Don't make that bed. And like she has this thing where it's like my charging cable. She has it like hung up on the wall. It's like a little nubby to like put it on the wall. And I just walk by and I'm like, nah, leave that on the floor. Like I just have
Yeah.
these like things in my, and I'm like, well, no, that's also, and then we just try to like meet in the middle. We try
Yeah.
to like meet in the middle, and like that's why I've told Steph, I go like, hey, because she has a tendency when we get into fights, she just like decides that everything I've done is at her. And I've just done it to be like this little fucking bitch. And
Yeah.
I've just done it at her. And I tell her, I go like, you just have to assume I'm just being a little retarded on
Yeah.
stuff like that. Cause like she'll just be like, like I cook potatoes in the air fryer and she's like, you kept that shit, you didn't clean that shit, it was dirty all day. I go, I made potatoes? She's like, yes. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it was because when we were arguing the last time, I'm listening to her. I'm like, this guy sounds awful.
Yeah.
What was
Well,
he fucking doing in there?
well, I guess that's the thing too. Is like, because we've talked about how we obviously we're in a work relationship where we're work wife and husband, but I'm definitely more of the Steph in the relationship, at least in
Yeah.
this relationship, because that's the thing is, and it's not that like Dom has those lapses, but I think it legitimately is ADHD. So like, there's if it's not
Oh yeah. That's what. Okay, that's what you meant. That's yeah. Me and Pat realized we are the other one's spouse is
yeah.
energy.
Yeah, because it's like it's
Because
a
Pat's very Steph and I'm kind of Dom.
well, it's a thing where like, but I have like, again, it's been, and also, Dom and I have been together for almost like 20 years. You know what I mean? So like, we're getting to a point where like I understand and I do know who you are. So I give fun, subtle, nonverbal indications on like that she's done
Pass-
something that I don't like. So like if
Did
you
you mean to say passive aggressive?
no. So they're fun. They're fun. So you leave the toilet paper roll empty, right?
No, no,
I
no,
take
no,
it
no.
off
You
the
don't.
toilet.
No, no, no. You don't understand. It's like it's fun and
Listen how
everyone
fun this is.
likes it.
This is fun. You're gonna love this. So I take the toilet paper roll off and I just hide it under her pillow. And then she goes, "Hey, why'd you do that?" And I go, "Oh yeah, this is weird. We both do weird things. I guess we just both did weird things where you just left the toilet paper empty and I put it under your pillow. It's just a fun reminder. It's just
Oh,
kind
you
of
put the whole roll under her pillow?
the empty roll. No, the empty roll, obviously, because I go like, oh, that's just a reminder, just not to leave it. And also, you being the person that has to use toilet paper 100% of the time you go to the toilet, you gotta think of this.
You use this twice as much as me.
Yeah. So this is actually for you to help you out. So
That's
the
so
same
funny.
thing with the same thing where she leaves every once in a while, like she'll have candy or eat something that has a wrapper. And when
Okay, I'm on Dom's side for this one. Let's
she's
go.
sitting on the couch, right?
Candy, candy.
Where do you put the wrapper? Do you put it like in the trash when you're done with it, or do you just put it like in the
I
couch
put it
cushions?
on. No.
No. Do you put them in the couch cushions or do you put them in the trash?
Couch cushion.
Yeah, so there's a long time that this happens, and then I go, "Hey, let's have another fun little hide and seek," and I'm gonna put this in her, and I go, "Oh wait, it doesn't go there either. That's so weird."
Wait, she puts it in the couch cushion.
Yeah, and then I hide it under her pillow like a goddamn dog.
All right,
I bury it.
That's crazy. What's up? I love these comments, but I don't know what that name is. Suck Dickus. Hey,
hey.
Who's reading my diary?
I huff galaxy gas, bro.
And even me, this sounds crazy. That's
bro,
my favorite.
This is wife behavior. Wives do not get enough shit for being gross assholes sometimes.
Well, no,
sometimes they're gross assholes.
And I'm not saying this
all
about
due respect to you, Andy, as a gross asshole.
Yeah. Messy.
Sometimes gross asshole. That's what I'm saying. I don't call it. I always say that too. I go, I'm not saying that you act like a slob. I'm not saying that.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's so funny. I remember I said this to Steph earlier.
And then she goes, and she's off. It's like, no. I said you're not a slob.
No, I hit Steph with that one time. I go, no. I'm not calling you a cunt. I'm saying you're
Derek's
acting.
got the right point. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not saying you're a cunt, but you're definitely acting.
You have cunt attributes currently.
This. I love this from Derek though. Women are disgusting animals that need to be tamed. That's definitely not the approach that I meant. I mean wives. Wives are disgusting animals that need to be tamed.
No.
As much as husbands. It's not one-sided.
Well, no, it's this problem that like men have where I don't know. I think I sometimes men when they find their other half, the one they love, you create like people in general create this like, oh, women, they're just magical little entities and they frolic through the woods and they bring joy and blah blah blah, which they do. They do all those things.
There's a positive part, like Dom is the reason people like me. Like that's I know that I'm not an idiot. I'm a
but no, it's just
idiot.
but then like sometimes like it's the general standard we've set for women. Like one time me and Steph got into an argument because like I kept coming home every day bitching about the same thing.
That would be so funny if it just ended there. I just kept coming home every day and she's like,
stop! What the fuck is this about? This guy every day?
I changed the locks. What the fuck don't you get?
Wait. Every day?
Every day you're gonna come home from work? Sorry, but you were coming home complaining.
No, I was like bitching about something, but it was just the same thing. And to be fair, it was like a regular bitching of like not really doing much about it, which is annoying. And then but there was a degree of it where it was like, well, no, I also need to just like come home and vent to you, because that is a important spousal duty, is like sometimes you just have to be a bitch receptacle, because that feel like I will give ladies that one, because like to a degree the whole
talking about stuff is a huge thing. That's huge. That's women. Women, you get that. That's your thing, like, and you win it.
Like when ladies like energy, like they get mad, they're like, why, like, I don't want you to solve my problem. And then men go like, but what if I can solve it?
Yeah, then why do you just give me a list of problems every day? That hurts my heart because
But
you give me such a tight chest.
but to be fair, it does feel good if you let it, like, it does feel
Mhm.
good if if someone lets you get it out and then solves your problem. Cause there's like
Yeah.
this thing that, cause I've been there, it just feels good to be like, you gotta like let the air out
We'll gather the information, get all the facts first, and
yeah.
then we'll work it out.
Yeah, because I'll give ladies that one. But no, like, oh yeah, we were
My wife comes home, she's like, "Can you believe this happened at work?" And I go, "What were you wearing?" Every time. Well, what were you wearing? I
that
mean,
rule.
honestly. Oh yeah, Starbucks uniform.
The thing, but no, we were, and I was like bitching about the same thing, but it was also getting annoying. And she was just like, I forget exactly how she said it, but she was like, God, it's just, hearing you complain about the same thing. It's just like, it's just getting annoying and it's getting boring and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
I was like, you think every one of your stories fucking rules?
Yeah.
And then she looked at me like, and I go, and
Oh.
then I was like, wait, no, no, no.
Do you really
You,
think every one of your stories rules?
I was like, do you actually think that?
Yeah. I was just saying that to make a point, but like,
But
it
no,
just dawn on you that I am not enamored with everything that when you come home and you're like, guess what happened today? I'm like,
but that's not,
hold on a second. Let me turn the
but,
TV off.
but that's the thing that happens because we like treat women like precious little babies sometimes. It's the same reason why they like spaz when you don't call them funny. And you're like, you're fucking pretty and you like, you're pretty and you make the course of men's life completely altered. You have to also just be funny in a conversation. Like, can't
Yeah.
you just save that for us fat retards?
Yeah. Like that's the thing of like saying like this again.
Can I
I
can I
talk.
grab a coffee again? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
can you get me one too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah.
want? Come?
Please. Yeah. 2 comes. But I'll sit there and I'll talk to Dom about, anything. What? Rude. Not worth it. So anytime like Dom and I don't necessarily have that issue really where we're like, I don't really give a shit about like she asked me how my day is, and a lot of times I guess that's the thing is I learned from going to jujitsu that when my wife asks me how was my day or how was jujitsu or how was whatever, all she means is like good, bad. You know what I mean? Like because that's the thing is I think that Andy's on to a point with especially Steph's reaction to his stories of being like this is boring. Like she just vocalizes it because Dom will like ask me how jujitsu was and I'll go, oh, it was awesome. The first roll, I start explaining how like the rolls went or what we learned and or whatever it is, and she's just like, and it's like you don't even try, and that's fine. That's just a thing that I realized that like, and it's also not a big deal necessarily. I don't really like, I didn't marry Dom because of her opinions on jujitsu, but there are certain times where they give you like the kind of, what's it called? Nonverbals and the indications and the signals that are kind of like, this isn't a thing that really tweaks my fucking interest. And again, double digits years. If you're with somebody for almost 20 years, not every single thing I do is the most interesting thing in the world, but she does love me. That's nice. But it's still like she does care if I had a good time at jujitsu or if there's something that stood out in particular that was not jujitsu related. She would love to hear about it. But if it's like jujitsu, she's not sitting there going like, "Give me all the deets on what technique did you learn today?" Well, let me because I was just telling them I learned pretty quick through signals of like what to go into and what not to. So a lot of times and this is a thing where it's not just Steph. I think maybe all women somewhat have that thing of like, no, when I tell a story, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
when I'm hearing this, like, because I was saying that like when I would tell my wife, she'd go like, "How is jujitsu?" And I'd tell her what we learned or how my rolls went, and really she meant good or bad. How was it? Yes or no? Hot or cold? Good. Okay, cool. Did you have fun? Did you didn't get hurt? Cool. Good.
Yeah. Well, have you done the one where you're talking to your wife and you just gotta like through context clues, you gotta figure out if she's actually the problem at work?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then actually one time because I that's where one time I was talking actually I overheard her on a meeting and I was actually because no a lot of times we were talking and Steph's kind of the fucking like smile and like yeah everything's fine and then in private she's like
Yeah.
like and then I told her I was like yo you gotta be a little more assertive in the meetings and I overheard her being assertive and I go look at that little fucking girl boss over there you're doing it baby you're doing it
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I'm just glad we're over here being strong sigma males or whatever. I don't know. I do think it's incredibly gay to talk and dissect relationship stuff. Not what we were doing. The way
the way we did it was cool.
well, no. Well, no, I'm saying it's like the way we did it is as married men who, at the end of the day, truly love our wives, not closeted gay men who have complete contempt for women. You know what I mean? Like maybe next stream we'll go get 7 shot girls to sit around the table and just go whore, whore, whore.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that drive me up a fucking wall because they just approach relationships in the absolute most autistic way humanly possible.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of people there. I don't even know if it's like the incel thing, but there's like this weird thing of like people that aren't it's a maybe it's just because I'm fucking older. You know what I mean? Like I'm an older gentleman and it's like younger people on social media and shit where you're just like, damn, I would hate to be in this scenario with the person that I am, like truly the person, just because I am a fucking a puss. You know what I mean? Like I don't really have the, I was
What do you
like,
mean
even
you're a puss? I mean,
like,
I agree 100%. Like, probably, like, absolutely. I'm so glad you finally acknowledged it. But what do you mean?
yeah, but yeah, just in general, like going to like all through high school, middle school, and all that shit.
Oh,
Just a
what?
fucking well,
Oh
no, I'm
yeah,
just saying
you're a
like
little.
it led into like even life like later on, but it was never a
You get a little
resentment of
timid
women.
around the puss.
Yeah, exactly, and it
You
was
see the
never.
puss and you go like,
I go, "Who?
you will be for patty. Is there a little pussy for patty?
Yeah, could I have a widow?"
Could
And
I
then,
a patty
but
have a little pussy?
years and years of that smashed the self confidence kind of part of it. So it was just kind of like one of those things where I wasn't necessarily, but I never was like an anger or resentment or anything like that. But there
Never got
was.
mad at the puss.
No, because it was a thing where it's just like the self image was the issue, not necessarily the puss was the issue.
Have
So
you
like,
ever like overall your story arc? It's not you've never been mad at the puss, but have you ever had a sort of like anecdotal moment of being mad at the puss? Because I have,
yeah,
and that
well,
I remember in high school I was mad at the puss one time, and
there
I lashed out at the puss, and then it felt so bad. I go, I'll never be mad at the puss again.
I was quite the little hopeless romantic little puss ball. So
Yeah.
like I would do there was some elements of like I would have the thought of like, well, but I love her. Like what the heck? And it's just like you don't what you got to see what you offer in a relationship.
Yeah.
So like
You're just standing there, 300 pounds in checkered pants and in a mohawk, going like, "What do they want me?"
yeah, exactly. This thing of like, wait, what? But I declared my. It was just like one of those things of like, it was almost the entitlement, but it was always met with like, yeah, but like what? Like, think about genuinely what you're asking or what you're offering. Of you're going like, hey, you know how we've been. It was a lot of like, oh, friend zone shit, but it was also like, that's okay. It's okay to have friends. You know what I mean? Like, and not everybody's going to feel the same way that you do, and you actually have to work on what you're offering instead of like thinking about how people, because it's weird things like you see comments, online and shit like that of people that are like making judgments or criticizing somebody for their appearance or something else, and you immediately can look and say, look, like it's become its own lane online of people like, here's some people that are making fun of me and here's what they look like. or
Yeah.
here's what their profile. And it's like, you have to understand, like, not only what you're projecting, but what you're offering to somebody else. So like, that's how you end up finding the that. And I think there's just so many people that aren't doing that kind of bullshit.
Well, and
So
it's kind of
they end up just being resentful woman haters.
well, it's kind of funny too, because it's all about perspective. Because like, this comment here is like perfect. How the fuck did you not crush puss back in the day, fuckhead? You know what I mean? Just like it's all about perception. Because it's like, I think you and me may have over the years gotten a little. Well, I was a different case. I was very bombastic around the puss for a while.
Mhm.
And then I got ashamed of my bombastic ways. You know what I mean? I me too'd myself before it was cool, just saying. And no, I never did. I just was you know what I mean? I grew up on Girls Gone Wild commercials. I had the wrong perspective on life. I was a little bit too bombastic about the puss.
Yeah.
And then I actually calmed myself down, but I think it made me too timid at times. But I still, because my whole thing was like, I was always like, hey, if you ever, I would always say this to the puss. I'd be like, if you ever need me, I'm over here. And thankfully, it would find its way to me enough times.
Mhm.
So that was my whole thing. I was like, I never developed good puss getting skills. The puss always found me.
Yeah, I think that was the thing, was so that's actually that's the best point, actually, is I think there was a thing where I was never really
I know.
doing
Thank you very much.
I never even did the work to like figure. I was always trying to figure out how to, again, like you said, how can you get girls? But it's like, how you can get girls or women or spouse or whatever the fuck it is by doing the work on yourself, like figuring out, again, like, what do you like, be genuine to who you are, like, go to shows, do the things, do all this other shit, like, do what you like to do. And I feel like you will meet somebody in those scenarios, but like, you have to be
What?
confident, because like, that's the other thing, is my self-image didn't really improve, but my self-confidence, like, I
Yeah.
definitely, my self-worth is
Well,
improved,
it
which is
dude,
strange.
it's the rule with anything in life. If you become in general like a desirable person,
Yeah.
whether it's like in life or if it's in a sexual relationship context, if it's in a career context, you know what I mean? Like if you get enough skills that someone with money goes, I can make money off that fucker. You know
Mm.
what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
same thing. Like if you become a desirable person, a lady's gonna go, man, I could really make a life with that motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
that's just it. Like for all the dudes who are like scared to talk to women or scared, it's like just those are the guys that need to kind of work on themselves and just be better, because
Yeah.
the better you are, it's that thing where it's the process. It's how, in my mind, capitalism could work the best, where you have the talented people just work on their talents, and then people who know how to make money, they see those people and then they like throw money at them and then go, fucking, we'll advertise this and make it bigger. And it's like a good relationship can be the same thing, where you have, because I feel like the relationships have more of the like big picture people, and then the like half of the relationship is like the big picture people, and the other half is like the autistic person who's just like, I like doing this thing and I'm just gonna get real good at that thing. And it's like broadly shit like that. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but that's the thing. Like if you it's kind of how, don't they, what's the thing they say about um there's a joke online about like the free cat adoption, where it's just like cats find you in the wild.
Oh, the cat distribution system.
Dude, there's a girlfriend distribution system. Like
Right.
I saw this meme one time, or it was like a picture from an anime, apparently, where it was like the anime girl goes up to this like timid boy and she was like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he's like, no." And she's like, "I'm your girlfriend now." And I go, and then I saw someone share that and they go, "Legitimately, this is how it could work for most women." And it's like, if you just if you just not just make sure you're not a loser, and then like go do things, besides just the bar in video games, like join a club, join a gym, do a social thing.
Yeah.
It like the girl will be like, there will be a moment where a girl will see you and go, that's my boyfriend now. And
Yeah.
then you will have a girlfriend.
It is really funny too. Like when you talk to ladies about like when did they actually start, like when did they fall in love with their man, or when did they finally realize he was the one or whatever. And it's always the weirdest, dumbest spots, but it's also like it makes sense because it's your attraction is base level, that you can do whatever, but then if there's also like the I'd probably marry the first chick that asked me out. The next, Derek says that. That's pretty
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I mean, like it's a it's a thing where like because and that's the other thing is the double standard. Not only are women in general pigs a lot of times just as much
Oh,
gross as men,
that
but
was the original point we got away from. Sorry,
but
go ahead.
that's no, but this is bringing us right back to it. Is like
Yeah.
women have that same thing of like when I mean, if Derek has a biological clock, he's inferring that it's ticking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's saying like, hey, ladies, I'm not getting any younger. Come on, when are you
Well, I
going to put a
think
ring on it? Kind of thing of like, but that was always reserved for the woman. Of like, men want partners too, like whether it be your boys, a lady you can trust and settle down with or whatever, but
sucking our titties.
you still need both. Like you still need somebody
Yeah.
that like you don't necessarily need a lady that's one of the boys, but you need somebody that's cool and understands that parasocial relationship kind of, or parasocial, is that right?
No, that's what podcasting is.
Oh. Yeah, well, either way, yeah, when again, we talking about that when
You're
you
like, no,
podcast and you don't
no,
record it.
a real life podcast, Andy. Listen.
Yeah, real life podcast when you don't record it. Those things. But anytime I it's not that Dom is my 100% person in any scenario, anytime, but she is the person that is fills in the gaps for me. She's like a social person. I'm not so social. I'm a fucking,
Yeah.
sit around in the house all day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Kind of guy. Or,
Hit blinkers, cough nonstop.
yeah, it's the fun stuff, but it's a thing where
Oh, that's my husband. He likes blinkers.
yeah,
He's gonna be in the corner hitting blinkers, eating
his
cheesecake,
hobbies are blinkers and porn.
and, and about 100 or so pizza bagels or pizza
Yeah,
bites.
about 100. Yeah,
About
no,
100.
yeah, those are some of my. I just think that like it's a thing that like no matter what there is that not necessarily just that person, but a person that helps fill in most of your gaps. That's really because it's a partnership. So but having it be 100% that women are the only ones that are like, boy, oh boy, where's your guy would propose? I want to get married. I want to be settled down. Also, like guys want that too. It's just
Yeah. Well,
not all the time, obviously.
I don't know about. It's
Probably
funny.
not a lot of guys here.
Yeah, maybe not like propose to him, but like I don't know.
Oh.
It's like we do need to normalize fucking like get me my version of flowers sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that's the relationship, figuring out what each other's flowers is, because even some women don't give a shit about flowers. Dom loves it, and literally it could be it doesn't have to be much. It's just the gesture. Where I go, did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you the fun? This is a fun prank.
Oh wait, real quick, don't forget that. Hello, bros. I hope you're both hard R having a good day. What the hell does that mean?
Both
hard
are.
R.
Oh,
Did I read that wrong? No, I'm just
yeah, I think you might have
fucking
read that
around.
a little wrong. I'm
All
just
right,
hard.
Joe Schmo 5170. Yeah, we will be, by the way, guys. If you prefer it on YouTube, we're gonna be streaming on the Drag the Lake channel from now on. Every day. It's gonna be a good fucking time. But I'm sorry, what was the thing you were gonna say?
I was saying about God damn it. Oh, the fun prank that I did because
Fun prank, yeah.
because you go like, what's our version of flowers? It's because it isn't always necessarily just the thought that counts, but sometimes I do understand what that means.
I will say I'm a big it's the thought that counts guy. My parents traditionally, through their presence, they let me know they don't understand me in any way. Like they get in the ballpark, but like one year for Christmas, it's the mug I still use constantly because again, it's the thought that counts. It's the fact that when you bought it, you went, Andrew's gonna love this. My dad got me a mug, and it's a Star Wars mug.
Oh
And
yeah,
it says, I like my coffee on the dark side. And I go, Dad, I've never really expressed too much over love for Star Wars, like ever.
Yeah. Yeah, to
And
where
like,
I would want a themed mug.
yeah, and I'm not like complaining. I love the fact but it's always like funny little stuff that every
Yeah.
time they get me a gift, I go, oh, they don't get me at all.
Yeah, I damn, I'm probably selfish. I might be a selfish motherfucker, dude. So my mom was awful at that.
Is
Like
this the prank? I don't want to forget the prank, but
so
tell
no,
this story too.
no. Well, this will lead into that
Okay, cool.
because to me the thought didn't count. I was just like one of those things of like I think the thought is obligatory in this case. She would when we would work together. We worked at the same warehouse, and my brother worked at the same warehouse. I would do deliveries for a different company that shared the warehouse with. My brother would work in the shipping part of that medical supply area, and my mom did customer service. So like we're all in the same area, but we work like literally working in the same building.
Yeah.
And my mom took on the responsibility of getting birthday cards for every like keeping track of everyone's birthdays. And then if they're like they would combine birthdays usually, it's like for months,
Yeah.
and they would say like, okay, we're gonna pass around the card and everybody sign it, and then we're gonna have cake at lunch. And it's like cool, whatever. So I remember saying like, that this doesn't be like because we don't put money in it. I'm like, why do you do this? And she's just like, it's the thought that counts. And I go, okay. And it
For
was
the
my brother.
birthday cards?
And it was my brother's birthday, and I took the card around and I had him sign his own birthday card.
That rules. That's so funny.
And it said Nick on it. And I go, look, nobody's thinking about anybody. That's what I'm telling you. They're just that you hand them a card, they sign, hey, happy birthday. And then they hand it back or congratulations or whatever it is. Like nobody's actually so when you just get me something in place. So I remember one year for Christmas, I asked, or it was my birthday, I asked for a New Jersey Devils hockey jersey, and she got me a book.
Was it about hockey jerseys?
Not even close. Not even a little bit about hockey jerseys. It was like the big book of unknown mysteries or something like that. Mysteries solved, or it was like it's an interesting book, sure, but it's also like, first of all, you're getting me a book. Come on, what are you doing? And that's my present. Like it would have been more thoughtful if you were like, hey, I couldn't afford the hockey jersey, but here's the cat, here's money towards it, or I can get it for you for like that's actually a nice thing to do, to be like to be considerate. I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going to be so much more disappointed if you waste money on a book. If you waste money on a book that I had absolutely no desire in getting, and I go
so I get that. That's that's just like grabbing a thing.
Yeah, it's like it felt frustrating. It felt like you put no thought into it. That's why the thought doesn't count here.
Yeah, it's like just give me a fucking 20 at this point. Just give me a fucking 20.
Yeah.
This
is gonna trigger Andy. Do you see that?
What happened? Oh, my retarded ass dad would burn jazz CDs for people as gifts. No one even likes jazz. It was songs he liked. I still hate him for
fucking idiot. That's hilarious.
I still hate him for doing that.
It's like one of those things. I'm like, I don't hate my mom, but it was like when she gave me that book, I was just like, you don't even know who I am. Like you have no idea. Like, get me a book about hockey, and it would have been like, oh, cool, a book about hockey. Close, you almost got it. You know what I mean? Like I would give the benefit of the doubt, but when you go like, here's a book of I found in the bargain bin or whatever.
See, that's why that's the I think that's the difference between me and you is I have a tendency to be a little glass half full guy because I just think it makes me
glass half empty.
Yeah, well, it just makes me feel better and like I'm already pretty hateful towards the world, and it just helps. It's like I can't also be that in my inner like with my relationships because then I'm just like I can't trust anyone. But but I don't know. I just think about the energy they had when they bought it because my like whenever people I love in my life get me gifts, they are thoughtful, but they're thinking about a different guy.
Yeah, they're
That's
thinking. Yeah, that's a very yeah. I've done that before. Did I ever tell you that? Like you know me, I've like just recently got into like gamer, and even it's like
gay,
Fortnite. It's like the
gayer stuff.
gayer stuff.
Is
No,
that what you said?
gamer
Yeah,
stuff.
you recently got. You're like, what if I was gayer?
But like the thing of going like, okay, cool. Like I'm I'm gonna go into this and like uh and I think it was like I told her that I used to play PlayStation 2 Battlefront or whatever. And just
Yeah,
1 year,
I'm
and
listening.
this is
I'm
what I'm
just
saying.
trying to. I'm listening. I'm just trying to find a thing that I got one time that I didn't.
But she ended up getting one time. I think it was for my birthday. I can't remember if it was birthday or Christmas. Like I saw that she spent like a good amount of money, and I remember going like, okay, I've been dropping hints about a digital drum set for years now, and I'm like, this is definitely going to be that's what this is, and it ended up being a PS4 with Battlefront 2 or whatever that one is, whatever the one was for that PS4. And that was the new system that year or whatever. And I remember thinking like this is a great gift for somebody. Like I didn't like I didn't like, it was just kind of like one of those things of like, man, that was so much money to like for me to go like, I don't feel like this like, oh my god, look at that, because like it was never like oh, I can't wait till I get a PS4. I really want a PS4. I really want PS4. Like
Well, that's
I
actually
didn't even mention it, and it was just like, oh cool, you spent so much money on this.
so
And it's
that's
like,
actually a really good example because that as transposed to like how my family gives me gifts. So
yeah, it
this
was
is the
really nice gift for somebody, but it was like I didn't.
but here's the difference between my family and your family is like so my brother got me this and it's like it's called the
Ah, nom
Necronomon
nom
Nom
nom nom.
Nom. So it's like a cookbook. Oh
Based
shit.
based on HP Love. Is there money in it?
No, I didn't he got it fucking signed.
By who though?
The fucking author. Who would sign it?
I know, but who's the author? That's what I'm saying.
The guy who wrote the book. What's the hang up on who what does it
It,
matter?
is like if that's cool, but it's also like that's cool when it's like it's a famous actor's book, or it's somebody that you are a fan of. Like you don't know who that guy is. I don't
Nah,
know
but
who that guy is.
this is why this is the point I'm making. This is why you're looking at this one wrong. So it's like there's all the like recipes and stuff like that. And like what I'm realizing with this is I like I look at that like, well, what about me make now he knows I like food, obviously, and stuff like that. But it is also a thing of like my brother going, this shit fucking rules. I'm gonna show I think this is awesome.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to give Andy this cool thing that I think there's a little bit in it for him. So there is that element to gift giving where people go, I know you don't know you're going to like this, but I know you're going to like it.
Okay. Yeah, I
Now,
get you.
but in your example with the PlayStation, there is a thing of like, that almost feels like, wow, fucking everyone wants a fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like in the height of it either. It was like after it had been out for a little bit. But again, I like I said, it was a really, I was not ungrateful of the gift, but it was just like kind of confusing of like, why did you think I wanted this? Like, or like a thing of what gave you the impression that this was like the perfect gift for me, kind of thing, or was it not? It's again, it's perception. So like you sometimes you don't always perceive what people think of you. So in your case, where your brother may not understand your interest as much, he's like, well, I can try to meet him in the foreground of like, I know he likes chef stuff and I know he likes this, but it's also like, okay, I really do appreciate that. And I do appreciate it. But like in some of these cases, like I said, the book thing was just like, this isn't related to anything,
Yeah. See, and
and it was like it felt like a afterthought, or it felt like a I better oopsie, like a like
yeah,
looking
no,
around going like this will do, and just
I get that, but that's why, and I like truthfully, hopefully my brother's not watching this. I've never cracked this open, but
obviously, yeah, you just open it and so it was like, oh
I
shit,
just
it's
found
signed.
out it's signed. um, but so I've never cracked it open, but every time I look at it, I feel, I feel a little warm inside because it
Yeah.
is that thing of like half of it was thinking about, oh, Andrew might like this, and then the other half was like, I'm gonna show him something cool I like.
What if there was like a really sweet note in there that he wrote personally and was like, "Hey, I just thought maybe like we could go over these recipes together and maybe cook one every once in a while, like over the phone or something, because I'm gonna really miss you in Austin and like we never really got close, but like I regret that and I want to be close to you." And you're just like, "Oh shit, look at that." You just open it like just now and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah, if that happened, I'd firmly believe he was a invasion of the body snatchers.
yeah, yeah." And by now it's way too late. But yeah, I think it's a nice gift, and at least is like I like you said, it's trying to expose you to something, to say like, "Hey, why don't you give this a shot?" And you're
Yeah.
like, cool, man. I think my brother was like that, but he was like that with, have you ever been at like, remember like going to like a movie store, Best Buy or anything like
Oh,
that,
like
and
a
there was,
rental. Yeah.
or even just like Walmart, and there's like those big bins of like piles of
$5
DVDs.
movies.
Yeah, he would like buy every one of those. Like I remember one
For
time he gave
people?
for people, but also like he would like give like some of them he would buy for himself and then be like, "Oh shit, I gotta buy this for Pat," and go and like and again, it was very sweet and very well meaning, and there was thought put into it, but it was just like, brother, we have way different tastes.
We got to
Like
work on.
I don't like most movies made. Period. Like professional movies made, and if this is Surf Brothers Fight the Volcano or something like that, or like not even Surf Brothers, like it's not like, because I love Surf Ninjas, don't get me wrong.
Wait, your brother's a fan of FBFV?
What's that one?
Surf Brother Fight the Volcano.
Oh.
I don't know he was an FBFVer.
But there's, yeah, also like like Lava Lantula and like the straight to sci-fi movies and stuff like that, like
Dude,
those.
that's when I realized. Sorry to cut you off.
Forest of the Undead was one of the movies he gave me once, and I was just like, because he knows I like zombies, and that was the thing. There was legitimate thought put into it, and he was like, he is one of those guys that's like, oh, it's so bad, it's good, guys, and I'm
Yeah.
not that. I do
No, that's
not like things ironically. I
brother.
like
That's the
things
same
even,
thing. That's the same thing with my fucking my
yeah,
brother and my dad. They like a lot of good shit, but they will like oh my god, if they I remember when fucking Sharknado was a thing,
right.
they were coming their
Oh,
pants daily, and I go, dude, I can't watch cringe for the sake of it all the time.
this is a perfect example. So like going to Blockbuster and renting movies and stuff. I used to work at those right. I worked at Hollywood Video
You
and
were a Hollywood
Blockbuster.
video guy, yeah.
Both of them, yeah. So but they, there, how there's always like Transformers would come out, right?
Yeah.
Like a week before, or even the week of the release of Transformers on DVD or video or whatever, when it's coming out on Blockbuster, there was always Transmorphers,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
the straight to DVD version. That straight to DVD, there's no more version of that anymore. That's why I said straight to sci-fi earlier. But like, straight to DVD, we
I
all know
think
what we're
the
talking
the
about.
new version of that is straight to Prime or Tubi, because those are the two channels you
Yeah.
can always get your thing on. Channels. Those
So,
are the two apps you can always get your movie on.
but like my brother would be like, "What's that transmor?" Like that meme of the "What's that transmor?" He was, I'm all about Oh, the transporter, yeah, but what about the transportation man? I want to watch that one.
You're really that's fascinating.
And there's copies of Transporter available. So like he's making the choice. I'm gonna watch this one, and I don't know if he necessarily thinks they're so bad they're good. He's just like this. So, no, it's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good movie. I
Is
think you
your
would like that. And
brother
I'm like, why? Thanks, buddy. I don't.
is your brother the guy that gets like the really shitty version of something and go, it's actually like better than the good version?
These are basically these are orange AirPods. They're basically just the same thing as AirPods.
Is he
Like
that guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
He will buy 4 version, and that's the thing is,
Can I ask you
I
this?
think that's a cheap and or a poverty stricken white trash
I'm
thing,
so glad you said
because
that.
I do the same thing, and I've done that the same thing, but every once in a while I'll go, I'm gonna splurge and I'm gonna get the $79 one.
Well, no,
I'm not gonna get the $20 one.
does your brother, and I say this out of all due respect, this is just for, I'm asking this for science. Does he walk around with like,
No.
uh,
It's like Wally. He has one of those little floating things.
Does your brother walk around with a poor person aura?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, and so what that the whole when you're actually like
In the best way. You know what I mean? Like in the
I'm not
most way.
saying I'm
He
not saying
lives
he's a
in Pinellas Park, Florida. You know what I mean? Like there's
no
or
no
that's where we grew up. You know what I mean?
but no because no, I'm asking because Steph's parents do this occasionally. They'll just occasionally because they grew up, they grew up like a little with a little less and stuff like that. So they'll do the thing where they'll have like their horrendously bad coffee and they'll be like, this is actually like way
Yeah.
better than and you're like, no, I'm happy you're happy, but it's not. That is
No, it's not.
no,
Yeah.
you drink really bad stuff, but that's why I asked if your brother has poor aura, poor aura.
Yeah. He's got pora for sure.
That
He's a pora boy.
he's poor. That is I've noticed this about people.
Yeah.
That's poor
Bro.
person cope.
Bro, this is like the thing of like it's not a good or bad thing. It's just a way of life. You do or do not do this. This is
Oh well, I do.
he's
Yeah,
not wasting money necessarily. He's like, again, if he buys the 80 or 120 or $200 earbuds and loses them, then it's just as much of a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like he loses
well,
them. He's
I get
accepted it.
behind when it comes to earphones and sunglasses and sunglasses and stuff. I get behind that on pure practicality of it. But no, I've noticed this. I call it poor people cope, where like they came to love something because they had less, so that was their only option.
Yeah.
And then they go like, it's actually kind of better, and you're like, it's not, but like I'm not mad that you're consuming it.
Or it's not even that it's necessarily better. It's just the fact that when they go, it's just as good. It's just this is like why spend $80 on the earbuds and they can just get Bluetooth earbuds from Five Below for
Well, that was
$8,
always
and you're like, brother, whoa, like
well
treat yourself.
that was always my
Get
thing
some
when people.
Samsungs. That's the middle ground. I feel like Samsungs at Target are a nice middle ground.
Yeah, I'm poor, but I eat good, and I'm grateful for what I have. And
Same. Not
I'm in
really.
no way shitting on poor people.
No.
I mean, ew, cut it out. But no, for real, I'm like, I'm in no way shitting on poor people. It's just, I think it's a survival mechanism you develop because you're like, this shit's fucking sucks ass.
Well, it's also it's like again, it goes back to self-worth, self-value, like all this other shit of like, well, my brother is a super clumsy person also. So like if he
Your brother,
bought,
Mr. Bean.
yeah, well, no, it's he's the one that he says every time if you say yawn, he will yawn. So like no matter what, he hears the word yawn, it triggers a yawn, and it's like an uncontrollable thing that he has. So like he's definitely an odd bird. We're all odd birds. White trash is one thing, but like being like poor aura is another thing, and it's not necessarily like poverty stricken, but it is a thing where you're like, even if you did have money, it's essentially what Are You Garbage is based on, the podcast. Like it's the thing of like, even though those guys are making money now and actually have like are
Yeah.
successful, they're still have that same point of view of like,
Well, I
oh
think
yeah, like when they brought up the thing, he said one of the questions they asked, they said something about do you call it ground beef or do you call it hamburger meat? And I was like, shit, I call it hamburger meat.
Dude, I love how Are You Garbage low key created one of the greatest podcasts ever because it's so relatable. No matter what socioeconomical because I always talk about this. I grew up like upper middle classy, like not rich but comfy wumpy. You know what I'm saying? Like
in my eyes, bougie, but but in realistic, in the worldview, you were right in the middle. Yeah,
I was right in the middle, normal. But like even then, that's like the conversation of like, did you have a second fridge? Where was it? And I was like, oh, dude, I remember bringing it from the garage to the pantry or to the laundry room and shit. Like, and then it's like, what did you keep in the second fridge? And then all that kind of stuff. It's like all these like little idiosyncrasies. It's so fun. I haven't listened to that podcast in fucking forever.
But it's such a brilliant concept because it's the thing where you're like, it is a state of mind. It's not necessarily it is also a thing where like after a while you end up realizing like, oh shit, I don't have to live like this. And then sometimes you realize, like, actually, I kind of just prefer that. That's actually, this
Yeah.
is the way I'd rather. So like, I love seeing those people succeed and maintain success, because like you do get to see what it would be like if I ever succeeded. Because like one
Oh,
of those things
dude,
of like how many times it used to be like back in the day, it was are you a redneck, or you might be a redneck
you might
if
be a redneck.
it's
You might be a redneck.
it's a thing where like no matter what, even if you get out of it, you still have that thing of like, I remember this is I know what white trash is, but also it's poor aura is kind of a thing where like you're not necessarily on the street, but you're a person that is, you are resourceful, and like you're a person that is like one of those things that you realize where to invest your money. So like a thing, a lot of times, like
Well,
people
not
like
always.
that one person says, I don't make a lot of money, but I eat good and I'm happy, or something like that. Like
Yeah,
that's to that person, and to, in my eyes, you're a success. If your bills are paid and you are happy in at least one aspect of your life for sure, then that's a success, and you can build on that success. So
yeah.
like the same idea, you don't have to like, being poor should never be shamed, because that's the thing of like, it's sometimes you can't help that. Sometimes you
No, being poor shouldn't be shamed. It's the people who, decide to be a victim and cry all the time. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, here's the reality: is like when you grow up poor, you are. What do they say? It's like, if you grow up rich, you're born on third base, and if you grow up poor, you're in the parking lot realizing you don't have money for fucking parking.
yeah,
That's true, and it's like your life is going to be a harder, a more uphill journey, but all the elements to make your life better are still all the same. It's
yeah,
just way harder for you.
I think it's a thing. You can't have you can't, exactly, it's not like it's not a thing that you have to have in advance. You learn it. It comes with experience, but like you have to be at least willing to realize when you don't know shit. When a loss isn't a fucking loss, it's just a fucking, you learn. That is something I did learn from jujitsu is you win or you learn. Like you can lose so many times in life and not die. You're not dead. You're
Yeah,
scared of public speaking. Cool. But guess what? You're not gonna fucking die. You're just
that's
gonna
why.
be you're gonna be nervous or whatever.
Well,
If you're
that's why "Lose Yourself" by Eminem's the most counterproductive song.
right, I eat
He
spaghetti every
literally
day.
opens up. He opens up what?
I eat spaghetti every day. I steal it from my mom.
Exactly. That's
Right.
what I meant.
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly.
next topic.
Yes. Go moving on.
Moving on. You understood it. No, the opening like monologue in "Lose Yourself" by Eminem is, what does he say again? Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? And it's like, that's not
I probably
life,
let it slip.
Marshall.
I would let it slip because that's what I do. I fail at a lot of opportunities until I get it right. So like
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed, I mean, not you're supposed to, but you're granted that opportunity.
Well, that's
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
well, that's kind of what I'm realizing listening to this fucking Elon Musk audiobook is like, the dude's not a genius at all.
No.
He's just a guy. He's just a guy who literally I will impose my worldview on everyone.
Well,
And
he can afford to learn from his mistakes. Like he has the luxury of being able to fail and continue to work.
But it's not even just that. Like, obviously he does because he's rich, but even that, he's like like he'll still throw all of his money at his shit. It's the thing that he will go, I will see this through to the end, no matter what, to a point where it's like, hey man, you kind of suck ass and you're a problem. But like,
Yeah.
still, that's the thing. It's like his whole thing is like he will see it through to the absolute end. He's like, I don't care. I don't care if the electric car is not popular. I will force it upon the world.
Yeah.
I don't he's like, I don't care if a bunch of kids lose their fingertips. I will get this cobalt.
What is, I don't understand. Derek drinks Folgers. It doesn't bother him. I guess that's
There's nothing
his
wrong with, dude. Well, regular Folgers sucks ass. If you get the Folgers Black Silk, You got to get the you got to get the Folgers Premium.
Is that like the reserve? Yeah, that's like the reserve. Yeah, so I don't
private reserve.
Yeah, that's what you have. So
You know what, dude? You know which one is shockingly bad? Yes. By the way, I keep bringing up Elon Musk. Everyone goes like, he sucks, right? I go, yeah, guys.
yeah, I'm gonna.
But also, people who suck, who are the richest people in the world, who completely control the structure of they affect the way our country works, are interesting to me. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's interesting to learn about the people who suck ass.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
I
go
just
to the
been
bathroom real quick.
yeah. No, it's just been making me laugh. I saw it in some of the comments on panties and stuff like that. People keep being like, he's bad. And it's like, yeah, it's okay to fucking honestly, it's good to learn about the people who suck ass. You know what I mean? Like, cause like the big thing, cause like that's like it's funny too, because like listening to the audiobook, it is like annoying. It is like hearing him, it's annoying. Hearing him talk, like hearing how the dude exists, how the dude talks and shit like that. His whole thing is like he's either performative or retarded, all that kind of stuff. But like I don't know, man. I'm a problem solving guy. Like when I'm learning about stuff, I do it a lot of times to like problems. I do it in like a problem solving way. And I just like my thing is like, why do we keep going through this cycle as human beings where people keep getting duped by like fucking shitheads like that? And it's like if you don't want to, a lot of people go like, well, that sucks. I'm not gonna like they think it's a noble thing to just completely ignore something that sucks ass. And it's like, well, then you got to shut the fuck up if things get worse because you're just, you're putting your head in the fucking sand and shit like that. But I don't know, man. It's this weird thing. It's just been making me laugh whenever I bring that up, and everyone's just fucking reminding me. What were you saying? Be funny if Pat said he had to go to the bathroom and just sits there staring into the camera. Elon Musk sucks ass for real. Yeah. Well, no, and it's because here's the reality with a lot of these people, and I've been noticing it the most with Elon Musk, is the people who like him don't have the proper perception of him, and the people who hate him don't have the proper perception of him. Because it's like both of them are taking him on face value based off their belief system. And if you look at if you really look at what it is, like I'm the more I'm learning about it, the more I'm realizing I'm like, dude, I think it's all about I think the main thing is I'm going to make a rocket and I'm going to go down in the history books as a guy who who had this like, because he mentions that in the beginning of the book. He admires these people who created these like monumental shifts in society the way that like the Wright brothers did or Henry Ford did. And he just wants to be one of those guys. It's the same way as like, you look at Bill Gates and you're like, why was he talking to Jeffrey Epstein? Even though right after that, even though it was like out there that he got in trouble for having sex with children, but yet Bill Gates is still fucking around with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like, well, Bill Gates is obsessed with having a Nobel Prize and cementing his legacy as this fucking dude, even though we all know who he is and it doesn't matter what he does, we're still going to think he's a fucking weirdo. It's just about that. So that's why, it's that thing where it's like, he might not actually be a pedo. He just might be just a dude with a crazy ego who's a sad person at the end of the day. And it's like a similar, and honestly, like understanding these people, because here's the other thing too, and like in American society where they sell you like the American dream and stuff like that, the thing you're kind of sold is a thing based off these psychopaths, these who's the dude from fucking American Psycho? What was the guy's name in that? Patrick Bateman. Yeah, it's like our world and our perception of what is success and what is good. Yeah, Bates. Thank you, Derek. our perception on the world and our perception of like what is good and what is success is based off these fucking Patrick Batemans that run the goddamn country and that are like the most influential people, and people look at them rather than like, you know, people look at these guys as like, you know, whether it's Kobe Bryant or Elon Musk or whoever, like Kobe's the guy who fucking played basketball, was the best at playing basketball. That doesn't mean like, oh, the Mamba mentality is how you have to. No, in certain areas, the Mamba mentality makes you fucking annoying and suck ass. But like, it's perfect if you want to get really good at basketball. You know what I'm saying? It's like life. Life is more than just emulating these fucking, these like, they're like, I don't know what to fucking call them, but like that's kind of what I'm getting at, where our perception of what our aims and goals in life should be are based off of these like big deal successful psychopaths, and we just think like, oh, they're successful, well, that makes them cool and that makes them chill and that makes them fucking worthwhile people to admire, when in actuality a guy like Elon Musk is just a dude who's like, I want to cement my legacy in the history books like one of the Wright brothers, and I want to make a fucking rocket. And like the only way to do that is to fly to Mars. So if you look at it as like that's the thing he wants to do, everything else gets reconstructed to push that goal, which makes his whole existence just a facade. So it makes all the like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Pat, get the fuck back in here. But that's like kind of my thing, is we're basing our reality off people who don't have a full grip on reality. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes, I'm like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only true component of like, you see that shit online where they go normalize the norm or some shit like that. Like normalize the norm and shit like that. And it's like, I don't think regular people should be comparing themselves to someone. Compare yourself to the guy you want to be. Do that. Don't compare yourself to like some random psychopath who just really wanted to make a fucking rocket. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's similar to the thing of like, we go, oh, can you believe this fucking dumbass actor thinks this stupid shit about a political thing? It's like, yeah, why are you expecting them to do shit outside of acting? You know what I mean? Why are we like overly expecting them to be a fucking big deal in this area? It's like you're just, I don't know. People are like looking at it the wrong. Did I ban this guy? Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you goddamn viewers. Oh, they were asking if you fell in. You were taking. I think Pat was trying to take a little medicine. No, it's
pee turned into poo.
That's fair. Sometimes it does.
Then I got coffee.
And it all came out the front. But no, that's what I'm saying is like, the thing I was getting at too is I'm realizing like, I said this about like Elon Musk in particular because that's the fucking book I'm listening to right now. Elon Musk. No, it's like because like listening to the book, I'm realizing I go, oh, this is just a guy who wants to make a fucking rocket so he can solidify himself in the history books as like the next Wright brothers or something like that. He has such a huge ego. He wants to just be the guy that comes up all the time, and we look back at him as one of the great men. So to do that, I'm gonna make a fucking rocket that takes us to fucking Mars.
Yeah.
So then he has to create a reality that makes all of this happen. And it's like when you understand that, you start to realize you're looking at these people we consider elite, which they are in their respective fields and stuff like that. But we look at them as people to like compare ourselves to look up to. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I think we're burdening ourselves with too much stress and comparison to people who are just like, I was saying earlier, we're successful people are filled with Patrick Batemans of the world, and we're just comparing ourselves to them. And it's like, nah, man, don't compare yourself to a literal psychopath in a very different field than you.
Yeah, I think there's you got to be a little bit more secure in your shit.
Yeah, well, you gotta know what you want, and then how do you get that? And worry about yourself. And yeah, what is this, Derek? Off topic, but did you guys see that Ian Carroll stream where he got bot swarmed by, and the video he was watching about Charlie Kirk pastor got removed, and as they were watching it, sus shit going on. I did see that a little bit. Do you know Ian Carroll, Pat?
No.
He's a conspiracy guy that it was very funny. A lot of people thought he was a pretend guy, a Fed, because he kind of came out of nowhere. And also he was not a weird, ugly bridge troll looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, this clearly has to be a Fed. He's not the ugliest guy in all of the universe talking about 9/11.
How
but no, he did.
Flattering would that be, just to be like, no, this guy's way too hot to be a Fed. And you're like, oh, thank you.
Well, no, legitimately, it was like, well, he's not an ugly bridge troll. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at us. This is what your conspiracy theorists are supposed to look like.
Yeah,
they don't look. He also used to have like long flowing locks. He was a bit of a debonair of sorts.
You shouldn't be 100% certain that they have legs that function. Okay.
Yeah, they should have an extensive collection of science fiction and fantasy novels.
Of literally a book. They're going to refer to books that they literally have never opened. Well,
yeah. I'm trying to figure out which Big Andy Lopez. This might be the better one.
I legitimately, is it the guy with the mustache? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this guy in my life.
That's okay. No, his whole thing was he got popular because, no, it's funny too because people are like, how did he get so popular? And it's like, I mean, he filled a direct hole in the market where the problem with a lot of these conspiracies, and I go through it a lot reading like my conspiracy books, is there's a shitload of information, and the conspiracy people are really good at giving you a fucking monsoon of information, but they're not good at like breaking it down in a clear narrative way that makes it easy to understand. And he would make these 10-minute TikToks where he would take a crazy complex topic in the news and break it down very succinctly in like a 10-minute TikTok. And it goes, oh, that's what everyone fucking needs on these fucking topics. But all these people were like, no, he doesn't look like a bridge troll. He's well-spoken. This guy has to be a fucking Fed.
Yeah.
But no, apparently, yeah, he did this video because there was something weird about Charlie Kirk's pastor. And in the middle of the stream.
You saw. Have they pulled the video? No. You are kidding me. Do you see what I see?
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, while we're on air, they have marked the video private.
Hey, chat. You guys say that you found it? You guys say that you found it on Apple Podcasts? What podcast am I looking up on Apple Podcasts? Do you guys see what's happening in the chat? Do you guys see what's happening in the chat right now? Everybody look in the chat. Those are all first-time Twitch chatters. We start playing it on Apple Podcasts, and then we start getting chat spammed by bots? Something is still going on in the chat right now, live on the stream. All from this, as he starts talking about Epstein and replacement theory, right? They may be trying to get my stream pulled for bots. They're trying to crash the server. That was some timing. I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Conspiracy theories are.
Yeah, so I saw that earlier. I don't know what exactly to make of it, but I do find it all very interesting because that's what I've heard about a lot of these conservative types who have been pro-Israel for a while, who like the Candace Owens of the world, who are like, hey man, you guys are kind of exploding a lot of babies. Yeah. And like, I gotta be honest, I've really hit my limit of how many babies you exploded. And then they're like, you Jew hater. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? And so, but I've been hearing that a lot of these people who sort of like, they turn a little more anti-Israel, they start to get like bombarded by people where like Candace Owens was a good example where she's in like the conservative space, and it would start off by a bunch of people in those spaces who she's friends with sending her messages being like, guys, like, Candace, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Being like, You don't like when babies blow up, Candace? You fucking stupid bitch. You know what I mean? And then it starts to broaden out. You get those clips of like Ben Shapiro being like, man, look at Candace Owens, this stupid black bitch, and shit like that. And then it's like a bunch of other it's a bunch of other bigger things. And then you see stuff like this with Key and Aaron, it's Key and Ian Carroll, and it's all, I don't know, it's all very weird. And yeah, man, I saw that Derek, and I don't fully know what to fucking make of it, because it was a 45-minute video and I didn't watch the whole thing. But it is all, here's my take on it. I wish we were big enough to get harassed by Israel. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Like I'm trying to build the brand so when I come home, I see random vans outside, because I just want to know I'm doing a good job.
Or at least to have the level of mental illness to believe that they're outside because of me. You know what I mean? Like they're like, there's no way that they're doing maintenance again. I just feel like stuff like this is so strange. Like I feel like they've oversaturated the disinformation market, or maybe saturated it perfectly. You know what I mean? To where it's like, I don't necessarily believe anything ever at all. Like people go like, because like either people are just saying the truth about like foreign entities and acts of our own government and shit like that, and like actual accusations of like politicians here, and they're just exposing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a spectrum here. It's like baby blood.
I've heard of these. Apparently, I'm on it.
It's either like it's they're all fueled by baby blood, or they're like, it's like, oh, that's all phooey. They're just people. There's some corrupt people, but it's also like, I don't know, man. Like the fact that there's no real. I'm not saying like lizard people shit, like not that level of conspiracy, but like there's like a level of, I think they're able to Andy, and this is our favorite phrase. You ready? To do it right in front of us. They're doing right in front of us. They don't have to hide anymore, because there's enough people with their own takes that are like again, there was I don't know if it was the one that you showed me or if it was just something while I was doom scrolling, but there was a thing of like this video of Charlie Kirk's assistant. No, I think it was something I was telling you about, but it was like legitimately somebody was going like, look at that's Charlie Kirk's head of staff, and look, this is moments before he gets shot, and look, he as soon as he gets shot, he picks up the phone, and why is he holding the phone up to his ear? Why is he making a call right now? And it's like, he could be calling. Oh God, see, now we're talking about it, and my screen just went black. But like something
R.I.P.
like
Pat.
But like something like that, where you're just like, I don't like. Everybody has their thing. We've saw that. Oh, how many people are sitting like this, and they're like, look, it's this guy that's sitting like this.
Well, you know what?
He's shooting them with a sleeve gun. I looked up on Amazon. Look, there's sleeve guns, and there's all this other shit. It's like they're doing it right in front of us, but then we're also just doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because, and it kind of goes off what I wanted to mention with what's your name, Joe? Yeah, Joe. Ian Carroll, sus as hell. It's like pop conspiracy stuff marketed for a mass audience.
Yeah.
Well, like with Ian Carroll's stuff is, and this kind of goes into what you were saying, where it's just like there's so much shit. Is like his thing. I don't think he's like a Fed or an op, but he definitely benefits them, because the way he like goes into shit and breaks it down, he does introduce again that tsunami of information. And I think what we're realizing, where you're talking about with people being like, oh, is that a gun on his shoulder, his shoulder that's pointing down, and even if
Everybody's
it was a
trying
gun,
to crack it,
even if it wasn't a gun, it wouldn't have been able to it wasn't aimed at him. That was the most annoying part of the fucking shoulder gun thing. I was like, even if it is, it's pointed at the ground.
Well,
it's
their.
But sorry. Last point I wanted to make on that is just, I think what it is like, because, well, this is what I realized too, and it's actually a big reason why Ian Carroll does get a lot of hate, because if you really look at, if you ever get into his stuff, I go like, brother, even if he is a Fed, I don't know how any of this benefits the government in any way.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I go like, because people are kind of missing that. And I noticed people were conspiracy people were getting real mad at him. And they're like, the way that they were bitching, it made me realize, I go, oh, you're mad because he started after you and he's the guy now. And people underestimate the amount of ego in the conspiracy political space, because everyone wants to be the guy that figures it out. Because I even realized that, because I've had those moments where you're doing it and there's that part of your brain where it's like, what if I cracked it? You know what I mean? And it's like everyone gets in the conspiracy space, they get enticed by that, and you have to like sit back and just go, let me just sit back and talk about what makes sense or what might be true, because then you start looking, you start trying to become a person who tries to find the most fantastical thing.
Yeah.
And you start thinking up these things where you're just like, oh, logistically that would never happen, rather than just paying attention to the shit that's right in front of us.
Yeah, like cyber sleuthing and all that other shit is like, it is beneficial, but it's not like, not everybody has the ability. It's kind of like comedy. I feel like it's the same thing where like you can just call yourself a comedian and immediately you're a comedian. And like for some reason you're a cyber sleuth, and it's like there's no accreditation. You don't have to have any kind of training. There's no anything. You just go like, well, I go online and I start Googling their personal information, and I have a subscription to yellowpages.com. And like, it's like, okay.
Well, that's why
I'm not saying that they're all bad, but it's one of those things where like there's not nearly as many useful ones as there are. There's tons of them. Like, they're not administering the disinformation. They're like, oh yeah, we stirred them up enough now that just go for it.
But that's why you got to look at
they're planting anymore.
Well, no, and that's why you gotta like, you just gotta look at shit. Well, like, okay, with the credibility thing, you gotta look at them with track record. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a big fan of listening to Dave Smith's podcast. And the good thing about Dave is he's had a very good track record. And it's why, like, I listen to a bunch of podcasts, and there's certain podcasts that I fell off of because just over the years I go, oh, hey man, there's a lot of times you get in on a show or you find a guy and they seem real great and they seem real good. And then after you've listened to them for like a year or two, a thing hits and you go, oh, you're spinning your fucking tires. Like as
much as I do.
After another, bro, that's the funniest one.
When you're like, wait a minute.
You're listening to a guy you think you're getting information from, and you're like, wait, do I know more than you?
This is guessing?
Yeah. And well, that's the thing. Once you hit, it really helps when you hit like a campaign cycle or something like some sort of cycle like that. And you're just like, oh, you're saying the same shit you said last time and you fell for it last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, there's shit like that. And I think the best thing to do is just for any of these guys is to like look at their track record and like, how do they analyze the information? Do they just look at the information in front of them and, not over the top, roll with it, or do they just sit with what they know and stuff like that? Yeah. And also too, on top of that, with like that clip of Ian Carroll and all the bots coming in, I think what's important with stuff like that is, it kind of goes hand in hand with how the observation you made, where you're like, oh, the government's just like a mob. And if you start looking at these different governments and these different groups as just different gangs, a bunch of this shit makes sense. So if you look at like the Zionists, the Zionist types and the Israelis, you just see that shit where you're like, oh, they just have bad strategy. Everyone, it's why you need to like turn down the spooky music, stop imagining a puppet master, and just imagine human beings who have an end goal and they really want to admit it. That's what I realized with the Israel shit. They have an end goal that I don't understand yet. And they really need to meet it. That's why, like, the shit they do is so fucking sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will just do shit where they bombard Ian Carroll's stream and do stuff like that. And they will, blow up an entire city and then claim, well, there was every
It was
single.
self-defense.
It was self-defense. Every single building we blew up had a Hamas cell stationed underneath of it. Every single school.
Every one of them had a Zionist orphan in their crosshairs when they were blown up. But it was also like it doesn't mean like it's a thing where like I get it. We talked about it when all this popped off back in fucking October or whatever.
Yeah.
The last October. And there was a whole thing with like just in general, I get it. You're super sensitive about being genocided because you were almost genocided. But that doesn't mean that you can genocide. So like it's kind of a thing where you're like
you can't go genocide for genocide.
Yeah, that's not hey, you know the saying, genocide each other, then the whole world is blind.
Genocide me once.
Genocide me once.
Shame on you.
Genocide me twice.
No, shame on me.
Me. Actually, that's kind of fucked up. That just means that you're
now
to be victim.
Now it sounds like I said they were asking for it.
Yeah.
Well, what were you wearing during the genocide?
Yeah. But it's like a thing where you're like, you can't. I get it, but it's also like you don't have to like the thing with where is it? You don't have to go as grandiose as this. It's kind of like always been a very lazy blue beam. You know what I mean? Where like they did enough misinformation or disinformation. I'm sure there's some lizard people shit. So the comment says for anybody listening, I don't believe in lizard people shit, but to me, it's pretty much common sense that psychopathic billionaires were in the world. And like it's whether there is a supernatural element to it whatsoever, be it aliens, lizard people, ancient giants or whatever. I'm on board for any of it. It could be
Anunnaki, I think they're called.
All of them, every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do
my khaki.
Hey, take it easy.
Hey.
But like that,
everyone's gay but me.
The 100% truth is psychopathic billionaires ruled. Like that's the thing. It's not necessarily one nation's psychopathic billionaires that run the world. It's just they are all
it's
keeping
like
us against each other with all this shit of saying like we're sitting here arguing about, not even arguing about, but like discussing. People argue about who should be allowed to do what show should be allowed to say what, who can say something about someone's death, is it right or wrong, any of this other, and it's just like, brother, like don't you see what's going on? Because I have no idea what's going on, but I know there's something going on and it's pretty obvious and it's not even really well hidden, but it's like
the problem is people look at it the wrong way. We're all sitting here like that's my big thing. I realize it's why I have to give credit to Alex Jones. Is InfoWars is actually low key the best title for like a show because that's really kind of like what it is. Obviously, there's real wars where people get exploded and shit like that, but when it but the way people are able to do these things and get away with them is because like of the info and everyone, like to me, I think the biggest problem is everyone has the wrong perspective on it. Like I feel like we're a bunch of fucking cows on a factory farm being like, man, I don't think the farmers really care that much about us. And you're like, no, they're like, and that's the thing. It's like, I always notice too, a lot of times in a lot of the in my opinion, 9 times out of 11, the most the explanation for it is usually a much more mundane one, where it's like, like it's psychopathic billionaires who just look at you like they're like indifferent. It's not like they even hate you. They're just like, yeah, no, you're all just like less than me. It's like I don't even have an opinion about you. Like I'm just gonna do stuff that enriches me. And if bad stuff happens to you, I don't care. It's not like a matter of caring. It's just a matter of like, oh, well, I need my shit to happen.
It's consideration. Yeah, there's like legitimately I think it was when the first time Trump was running and everybody was going like, Trump is a racist. I'm like, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's him being racist or even sexist or any of that. Like, yes, he says things that are racist and says things that are sexist. And does things that are racist and does things that are sexist. But I think he just doesn't give a shit about anybody that isn't directly benefiting him.
I
So
agree
like
with that
that's
100%.
so like it's not a he's not sitting so like they're thinking that he's like sitting at home going like how can I hurt the blacks and the Jews or the whatever is whoever it may be, minorities, oh the Mexicans, blah, blah,
Ooh,
blah, blah. And it's like,
the people who have less.
but I think he's just like these people aren't making me any money, so they're not paying taxes or they're not making money or they're not doing whatever, so get them the fuck out of here. They're not this, they're not, and it's like he definitely does those things that are and also in the name of fueling like playing to his base. Like he's not a racist, but he goes, "Oh, I'm a businessman, so I know that the racists are the ones that are, or there are a lot of people that are racist that love me, so I'm going to play to that base." And like, and
Yeah.
even to the extent that you hear like Republican old dudes that are just like, man, fuck Trump now, man, he's a piece of shit. What the fuck is going on? Like, he took my stepdaughter's abuela away. Like, what the hell's going? You know what I mean? Like, man, she helped with fucking babysitting. She was a great person, man. She used to make those little tortilla things, the little corn things. Like, they're like
That's
even
funny. I just want to
base-
say, in your example, you technically made this Trump loving Southerner has a lesbian daughter with a
yeah,
illegal immigrant. I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, legitimately, it's like a thing where like it's a thing where like, hey, I thought you weren't gonna do, but I voted for you. Like it's that kind of thing of like,
Yeah.
there's like true actual like, but he's like, well, this is the most powerful race, so I'm gonna, or, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do this one. They're gonna pay me the most, so I'm gonna play to this base of my
Yeah.
this race base. So I just kind of. It's not as grandiose. I'm still on board with aliens exist and there's technology and all that shit. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of the other shit that we were like, oh my god, grand conspiracy. It's just like it's just billionaires doing,
Yeah.
if they are doing ritualistic things. Like I always thought the what was the Bohemian Grove thing
Yeah.
when they were like, no, we're not actually doing anything. We're just simulating it. It's like that's not better. In my opinion,
That's a
it's
hair
worse.
better.
No, it's like I almost feel like it's kind of worse because at least in the sacrifice thing, you can say this is like a religious belief or this is a
Yeah.
like
Well,
if you're just pretending to do this, it's just like you're just doing this, like you're pretending to be this.
yeah. 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 You know what it is? I think it's like everyone looks at the government and the deep state and stuff like that as like one monolith or whatever the term would be, just like one entity.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of everything. It's like when we
Yeah.
go to the creek, dude. There's like the fucking there's the ultra lefty political comics, and then there's the slapsticky comics and blah blah blah. I think that's like that's what the government is. It's like, yeah. There's a bunch of Satanists over there,
Yeah.
and then there's just a bunch of fucking just rich guys who want to get richer over there, and then there's a couple lizard people over there, and I think they're all competing for their own shit.
That's a way better version of, in my opinion. I love the show Veep. I thought it could have been improved though if they would have just done it that way. If they would have just been like just every once in a while somebody just blinks like this. You know what I mean? Like and you're just like, oh, I knew it. That's you know what I mean,
funny.
you gotta write in those characters. You have the
Well-
wacky sitcom of like it's the White House, it's the West Wing drama, but it's also like his Secretary of State is like a fucking Anunnaki, and she's
Well,
just
that reminds me too of the I think I told you about this, the show I had an idea for, where it was like the show was just the CIA and FBI agents planning the conspiracies, and it's always like, this is what we're gonna do, and then it's another guy going like, are you sure, man? Like they're really gonna have, like they're gonna talk about that one.
they're like, they're not even going to mention it. We just say it's a weather balloon and they're just going to drop it. They're idiots. These are bumpkins. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And they just go like, weather balloon. That ain't weather balloon. You said flying saucer. And they're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
What's plan B? Oh, 17 years or 37 years later, we're just going to go like, here's the final report. It was still nothing. Got it. Bye.
Yeah. And that's why it's like, I don't know, man. I think that's why you and me are probably real similar, where it's like we get in on a lot of the political stuff, but I hit a point where I go, I mean, it can't be my whole day. I still want to just like listen to whatever the new whatever album is and it's like
Yeah.
I want to go watch. I really want to go watch Frankenstein on Netflix. Like I
Pretty
can't.
good.
Which I've been. You watched it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight. We talk about it tomorrow
Yeah.
or the next show.
Yeah, I'd be down for that because it's a. I have some thoughts and feeling. I feel like I kind of want to watch other Frankensteins, but I don't know what's like a legitimate Frankenstein. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the I know like the Boris Karloff, excuse me, ones like the classic Universal movie monster ones are like, but is that the canon? That's canon story, right? That's like because I don't know. I realize like I've seen 170 million goddamn iterations of the Dracula story or vampire story of like the guy has a thing over here, he puts the earth into a trunk and he gets on a boat and the boat goes over here, blah 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 blah. Like, but what's the Frankenstein version? Even like werewolf, I feel like I've seen a couple different Wolfman versions and each one of them's like a
Well,
little
Pat,
different but kind of the same. What?
no. I'm sorry. I will say, you may not want to spend too much time trying to figure that out because I googled Frankenstein movies, and there's a couple.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Is they've done them to death. You know, technically, the
How many
Mummy. You know, the
Frankenstein-
Mummy with Brendan Fraser is a classic Universal movie monster movie.
I mean, I'm not surprised because everything's half the shit now is a remake of a earlier shit.
Yeah, so it's like, I love the story of the Mummy, but it's basically that same story. Is like that's the story of it. I don't know if they have the Rock in it and stuff, but
I like too how they're presenting it as Guillermo del Toro's the Frankenstein because they're like, no one's gonna just watch Frankenstein.
yeah, exactly. No, that was because I thought the same thing of like, why is this? I didn't know it was his. I watched it because Dom said she wanted to watch it, and I was like, I'm watching it, and I'll just tell you this. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. My issues with it is I don't know how much of this because he made Frankenstein,
Yeah.
right? And Frankenstein, after he creates Frankenstein, or the Frankenstein's monster, excuse me, Jesus, he makes the
Hey,
guy.
are you a fucking idiot?
He makes them, right, sews them all together and all this stuff, and like immediately he has. I don't. This is not really a spoiler alert. He has supernatural-ish powers. Like if you
Yeah, didn't he get like the ooze in him or something?
it's something like I don't know if it's the electricity or like the things that he's using, but like he cuts his hand and he's like, because he's an idiot at first, he's like, and
Yeah.
grabs a knife and then cuts himself, and then his hand heals. And I was like, I don't remember Frankenstein having like Wolverine powers to where
Yeah,
he could like regenerate shit
I
like
just thought
that.
he was
Right?
really tall.
But Andy, the whole time, because he's Frankenstein's monster, right? He was sewn together, all these bits and parts, right? They all match. And even his scalp is growing hair, right?
Yeah.
But like he never grows a beard. I'm like, what the hell is that about?
Well, some people
and-
can grow hair, but they can't grow a beard.
And all of the scars on him, on his Frankenstein body, all over, never heal. Why?
That's a real okay. Well, I'll have to watch this. That's so funny.
It took me right out of. I'm like, okay, he's got super regenerative thing. Where's his beard? He's got different parts of his scalp. Why doesn't he have different colors hair?
You're big on those. I a lot of
do it. If you're gonna make it, you're introducing this into the world. If you're doing this, I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah,
that's my point. I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll have to watch it to see how noticeable it is because I've been there before.
And I've missed stuff before. You know that I've missed stuff. Where
no, you're right. You're right. No, and I've definitely been like I've gotten hung up on like, well, that wouldn't happen.
Right? Why isn't he healing? Why doesn't he look normal then? Why would?
It is very. Yeah. Why wouldn't he just be a guy? It's like no, I only healed a 70%.
Yeah, I only go back to what I was started with, and it's like really, what that's like.
Yeah.
Why do you have hair then?
Yeah. Well, we have to. This is probably a good place to wrap up because we have to go record panties in an hour.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, this was fun. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Pat, if you're available, we'd love to book you again.
I should be. I should be able to do it, but I think I have a thing at 12 or 1. I might be the same time, but actually, we should be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, basically, guys, we're gonna be doing like a daily show, and Pat's gonna be on a bunch of them.
So it's at 1:30. So yeah. So I should be fine.
Well, I'll try to watch Frankenstein tonight. I think
Yeah,
that'll be a fun thing to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a cool thing because I love Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yeah,
His name
Guillermo Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. He's a pretty awesome dude. The special effects shit is cool, but also like a lot of times he does too much. So
Yeah, well, I also too. The other thing I want to look up where a lot of times you'll be like, "That's fucking weird," and then you actually learn about the general story, and you're
Right.
like, "Oh, I guess that's standard."
like
The
I
problem too with the monster shit. The problem too with the monster shit is when you've made so many of them.
Mm,
Of like you've made so many versions of like Frankenstein or Wolfman or zombies or Dracula or any of that.
yeah.
It gets to a point where there's two versions. There's the original first version, and then there's this is the version of all the best stuff we like in the movies that
Yeah, it's
have
like
been made
Twilight,
about
where
this.
you're like, our vampires sparkle in the sunlight, and you're like, oh, cool. So there's literally no downside for being like that. Was the downside was like you realize over time it dawns on you that you'll never see dawn.
Yeah.
Like it dawns on you that you're like, oh, I'm dawnless from now on.
And then but here's the thing. I might be 1,000 years old, but I stopped aging at 17, so I
Yeah.
can just fuck kids until eternity.
I got this fucking natural vampire hard sparkly body for the rest of my life. What a curse this is.
Dude, legitimately,
Like, fuck off.
I've been because like a lot of this shit doesn't make sense because it's targeted towards women who literally want to fuck a monster.
Yeah, it's taking the bad boy fetish or the bad boy attraction and just abusing the fuck out of it.
Well, no, because for the longest time I was like, well, this obviously represents something, and then I saw people mentioning it on Twitter, and they like the one dude was like, guys, I think ladies just want to fuck monsters.
Yeah, they just want to and like it was when I realized like Dom's attraction, like her celebrity crushes were guys that resemble ugly women
Who have tentacles.
that are like masculine women. You know what I mean? Like Ed I was gonna say Ed Norton. What's the guy? Edward
James
the
almost.
no, the fucking guy from
All right.
the other thing. I'm trying to think of the I can't even think of the name.
fucking guy.
No, the
All right.
actor.
All right, Pat Burr.
Who's Robert Pattinson, the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, you're just like a ugly women. Like you
Yeah, kind of.
he's just an ugly and like
Well-
the other guy, Cillian Murphy or the guy
Oh
from
yeah,
Community.
yeah.
I'm
He
just like, yeah, you like ladies. Like,
well, no, ladies have this thing where like you see the current thing making young girls happy, or all the fucking androgynous Korean boys.
right. Yeah. Yeah, you like that.
There's something about like I don't know. I think girls are attracted to bisexual men. I think.
Yeah.
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 I,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. All right, I have to piss. This has been fucking great. I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah. See you in an hour, buddy.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow.